Hello, my name is Joaquin Copete and I'm the API Management Practice Director for USD Global, and today I'm going to explain the basics on API Connect Administration. We're going to take a first overview on what API management means from the sense of APIs, plans and products. Then we're going to make a bigger dive into the API Connect service details, and then we're going to practice making some catalog management, organization management, and user management. But first of all, we're going to take a look into the basics of API management. With API management, we can govern APIs, we can manage them, we can then create some plans. Those plans are basically different consumption models for the different APIs, and then we can group the plans into products, so we create higher level abstraction elements from the APIs, and we manage all the different phases of those products using IBM API Connect. So we have APIs as a set of functions that are giving us some capabilities, let's say business or technical, and they're using some defined protocols. And we have plans that are restricting somehow the different capabilities of the API in terms of rate limits or who is consuming those APIs. And then we have the products. That is a way of grouping plans and APIs, and to give certain life cycle management around the APIs and the plans. The different ways we have to manage or to administrate those for elements, let's say APIs, plans and products inside different catalogs and or spaces, is what we're going to learn today. So we have basically two different approaches. One is we have a set of catalogs where we have different products, plans or APIs inside of them, and then we can, from those catalogs, create different development organizations. Those development organizations are the ones that are consuming the APIs and not the ones that are producing them. So we need to differentiate that term, but those development organizations are the ones that are going to create applications to consume the APIs. We have a second option, that is create catalogs with spaces. So then those two different spaces will hold different products, plans and APIs, and there's no visibility between them. So just in case you need that feature, you can use it. And this is always on the right side. We have the users, the API providers, let's say, those teams that are creating the APIs that we want to expose, that they are applying the different policies to the APIs. And then we can relate those users to the different catalogs and how they are seeing the different spaces as well. Then how is the access URL? This is composed by the IBM Cloud URL plus the organization name plus the space plus the catalog name and then the name of the API. So you have an example here on how the URL for your development portal will look like. On the IBM Cloud Platform as a Service, we have the possibility to create different elements like applications. We have VMwares, we have Dockers, and then we have different services. In this case, we have the IBM API Connect service. The typical API management architecture that is reflected in the API Connect service is composed by three different elements. I would say the API gateway, that is where all the live traffic is going to pass through and is in charge of the security enforcement, access control, transformation, etc. Then we have the second component, that is the API manager, that enables API creation, the security policy definition, and the analytic dashboards, as well as the API product lifecycle. And then we have the developer portal that is hosting the different onboarding processes for the third parties, the registry for the consumer apps, documentation, testing, etc. Those pieces are the ones that are composing the IBM API Connect solution that we can easily make available in IBM Cloud. Then when we sign in into IBM Cloud, we can create a free account, or we can just log in with our existing user. Then we're able to see the console where in the different organizations and spaces, as we have seen in other videos, we can create a service that is the IBM API Connect service. With this service, we're able to manage the different APIs. And then when we use the IBM API Connect, then we're able to see the dashboard when we have the different catalogs and where we manage those catalogs. We have the different options in the menu, like the catalog dashboard that we have just seen, the drafts where the APIs and products are defined, and then the administration tab where we administrate our service. Then jumping into catalog management, as we have seen, we have the option inside the service to create different catalogs. They will have different URLs, and then we just need to add a catalog, set the name. We have to take care of the region, the organization, and the space where the catalog is to be added. And then the catalog is just created. And then we can manage the catalog, like adding new members, watching the analytics, and configuring the different settings. On the development organization management, what we create is different organizations to consume the APIs. So once the developer portal is enabled inside one catalog, we're able to add the different organizations that will consume that API. We will then be able to track the different applications and the different subscriptions to the API. When you add a new organization, you will receive an email like this where you need to accept this to be part of the organization. And this is what we are able to do by managing the products. Products have a certain life cycle. We start with the draft, then the product moves to stage it. At any point it can be removed from the catalog unless it's published. When it's published, then we can move it to deprecate it or retire, and when it's retired, you can remove it from the catalog or archive it. Those are the different phases. We have draft, we have staged, we have publish. Publish is very important because it's where any consumer can be subscribed to the product. Then it runs into deprecated, where only those that were already consuming the product are able to continue consuming the product. And then we move into retire and archive. We can as well make advantage of this usage of the statistics and analytics, where we are able to create different dashboards to take a look into the API consumption. And then finally, the user management, where we can add new users, just inviting them by their IBM ID, and then we assign different roles to that user. So the different roles that we have is the owner and administrator. They all are able to do everything. Then depending on the other roles, you can do more or less. So you can just manage products, or you can just develop APIs where you can view the rest of the elements, but you can only edit the APIs and products, or you can be a publisher that is able to approve subscriptions or to administrate the catalog. And this is all for today, for our video on API Connect Administration. Thank you.